Well, welcome to another video. You join me up on Linear Fisheries on the new Tar Farm complex of lakes. Behind me is Lake 7, but there's 5 lakes to go at. So in this glorious sunshine, we're going to have a little wander around, see if we can load a couple of carp, and see, over the next 2 nights, we can bank a carp for you or two. Right then, well, we've had a look around a few of the lakes on the site, and yeah, the only fish we've seen has been on Lake 5, so that's definitely going to be the first starting point. So yeah, let's go find a spot, stick a few bags out, and see what happens. So I've had a little look at the lake maps, which are on the website, and yeah, out in front of this peg, which I think is peg 4, there is quite obviously a nice raised area, which is probably sort of 8 to 10 foot. So tried to clip up to what I reckon it is going off the range markers on the side of it, and fingers crossed we can locate it. So let's have a little go. So 15 wraps, which is roughly the gauge of what it was looking like on the map. There is a lovely gravelly area, just what you'd want to be finding out here. And just beyond it, the lead goes on for about, well, it feels like it drops for about a minute, but so it's clearly like probably 20 plus foot. Yeah, I reckon this is probably 8 to 10 foot going by the map. And yeah, it just goes down like a lovely drop. And on the drawback, it's just lovely, lovely gravel. So that's what we'll be fishing for, at least to start with. I've got this thing where I've got to set my net up first.
Oh, you have to.
It's like a OCD thing. We're ready. Well, I'm going to start off with solid bags because it's been doing me well over the sort of winter and early spring period. So going to just glug a couple up while I wrap the rods up, so it's got time to soak into the pellets, and yeah, fingers crossed, we'll get them out in the water and be off the mark. Rod number 1 about to go out. First cast on a new lake is always exciting, so fingers crossed we can drop it on the money. Lovely. Right then, well, it's been about an hour or so, and yeah, rods haven't gone rattling off yet, so I'm going to introduce some bait and see if we can entice one into yeah, join us on the bank. Going to start off with, got some of the DNA Maxi train mix here. Yeah, mega pellet, really, really stinky. Can also stick in a couple of handfuls of some 8mm bug. A little scatter in the colour, can never do any harm, especially seeing as we're in Oxfordshire. And then yeah, some healthy dosage of the Spod Hydro. Real nice thick glug, which will make its way down to the bottom of the lake bed, drawing all that attraction. Fingers crossed, we'll spot that out, and that might entice a bite.
A few more hours had passed, and even after putting in some bait, there was no action on the rods. Watching the water like a hawk led me to seeing a couple of subtle shows on the opposite side of the lake. Stood there wondering what to do. Another 3 or 4 were seen in quick succession, as I had to get on the move and have a go round there. With the sun quickly setting, it was a mad dash to get the rods out before sunset. Even on a brand new water, location is always key, and hopefully the move will be worth it.
well, we're in the new swim, this lovely little bay behind me, which is where I've been seeing a few show over the last sort of hour or so. And yeah, as we go into the last few minutes to hours of light, fingers crossed, after we deploy 3 rods, our luck will change and we'll have one on the bank for you. We've just had a bite. Next job's to land it, obviously, but it's more action than we had over the other side. So we just had some crazy liners and we were like, what is going on here? Ben was reassuring me that it was just fish feeding and munching, and fingers crossed we can get this one in. So this one's come on a solid bag, put all 3 out just on solid bags and just catapulted a scattering of pellet over the top just to try and get him munching. Obviously pellet's probably something they're pretty used to, being new fish. And yeah, fingers crossed. Hopefully it don't pick up my other line, that'll be the first result. Scrappy.
Bit of relief.
What a bit of relief that is. First one for the cameras. Ooh.
Well done.
There we go. We're off the mark. Happy days. Right then, well there we go. First one of the session. Hopefully not the last, but this very pretty little fella has made that move well worth it. And yeah, we're off the mark. First fish from a new lake is always a you know, a great achievement. So happy days. And like I say, fingers crossed, it's not the last. There we go. Thank you very much, little chappie. Go on to be big and strong. Negative. Right then, well, good morning, and what a lovely way to start. We've had a nice productive night, so first thing that happened was Ben had one just after sort of last light, and yeah, then a couple hours later or so, around midnight, I had one as well. So yeah, we're now on 4 fish, including this little fella, who went rattling off at first light. We've had nothing but liners throughout the entire night, so we're a little bit tired, so coffee's gonna be the first port of call this morning. But yeah, after a move, 4 fish under our belts between us, it was well worth the move. Well, we've had no further action since that fish at first light, and to be fair, the liners have started drying up as well. So I think plan of action, we're going to reel in, go for a little wander around the other lakes and see if we can not only find some fish, but maybe try and find something a little bit larger as well, and yeah, put a bit of a chunk on the map for you. Well, I definitely reckon there's a few fish on the end of this wind, a bit like on the other lake. They do seem to love a wind up here, and yeah, this margin along sort of Lake 7 looks lovely. Just got to find something now. Well, we're on the move. We've seen a few fish by a bit of an inlet over on Lake 7, so yeah, don't need any more of an invite than that. So yeah, we're on the move. Let's go try and catch one. So over my right hand shoulder you can see the sort of water inlet. This time of year, running water is a massive attraction for carp, and yeah, when we were doing a bit of a lap trying to find some fish, we seen sort of 4 or 5 close in, and yeah, put a bit of pellet in and fingers crossed they'll come back. Well, it wasn't the rod I expected to rattle off. I actually flicked one just out in front of me as well. Might not be a larger residence we was hoping for on the Lake 7, but yeah, still a very little pretty one. And in fact, Ben's also had one doing some good angling himself, spotted a couple in the margin and flicked one out in front as well. And yeah, he's also had one, so happy days. Slip this little one back and see if we can nab another one. Well, Ben's just had another one, so I've decided to slot into the left-hand side of his swim because there seem to be a few more fish out in front. So yeah, fingers crossed I can poach one out of his swim. While I'm here, I thought I'd just talk you through the rig that I've been fishing and using so effectively in a solid bag. So I've got one of the bag stems there, just to make it nice and easy to quick change. Down to a 3-ounce lead, about 3.5 inches of supple braid. That's really important when using solid bags. Down to a size 4 hook, which is a beat point style. A whipping knot rather than shrink tubing because that's just my preference, and on there we've just got a pink wafter, and yeah, obviously that's all going inside a small solid bag. Fish in here obviously absolutely love pellets, what they've been known for most of their lives, so yeah, it makes sense to fish solid bags in my eyes, and yeah, something I'm confident in using. Well, you now join us on a completely new lake again. We're now on Lake 8, so yeah, we tried for another hour on Lake 7 just to try and get one more for the cameras, but yeah, unfortunately it seems those 3 fish just meant that they all disappeared into the abyss. So we haven't checked in for a little while because we've been packing down base camp over on Lake 5, and like I say, we're now moving around to Lake 8 in the aim of trying to catch a better one. This has got slightly less stock in it, but they are generally slightly bigger, so that's the aim. And yeah, I'm just gonna be having a bit of a lead around, just trying to find a spot. And yeah, I think I found one, so fingers crossed, this should be on the money. A slightly shallower area, like I say, surrounded by a load of deepness. Lovely, yeah. It's got to be about 13 foot, I reckon, surrounded by in the 20s, so happy days. Well, you join us going into the last evening, and yeah, we're quickly losing the light. So last time you see me, I was obviously sort of finding that feature, and yeah, I've managed to put 2 solid bags on it and put about 10 spods of pure pellet over the top of it. A bit of glug on it, but pure pellet really, and hopefully that can entice a bite. On the 3rd rod I've put out a zig, a 10-foot zig, just off to the side, and I've actually just had some sort of occurrence in that, maybe an aborted take, not too sure, but yeah, that's promising at least. So going into the night, once again full of confidence and anticipation and a little bit of excitement, so wish us luck. Well, good morning, and I'm pleased to announce it's been a nice productive early morning. We've had 3 bites between us. Ben's showing me up with a couple of bites. So his first one was a 12-pounder which came on a 8-foot zig, and then yeah, good angling. He's rechucked the rod straight away, and yeah, it's gone rattling off within a couple of minutes. So then he's had a second one which has been 16 pounds. So he's definitely had a couple of better fish, and yeah, nice to have a couple of doubles to finish the session for him. And then over to me, so I've had the 1 bite this morning on a 10-foot zig, and yeah, I'm pleased to announce I think it's slightly bigger than Ben's, so he might be showing me up in numbers, but fingers crossed I've got the big fish, the big capture as such that we were after. So I'm not sure if it's going to go 20, but let's get it out, have a look, and fingers crossed we've got the cherry on the cake. There we go, 23 pounds of beautiful mirror from Lake 8 at the old Tar Farm complex. And what a really nice way to finish off this video. We're aiming for a 20-pounder from this lake, and yeah, thankfully that 1 bite has done it. Yeah, absolutely chuffed. Right then, well there we go, we're all packed up, and what a cracking session it's been. I hope you've enjoyed it as much as we have. Nothing more has happened this morning, and one thing we've noticed definitely is the fish seem to sort of move around in sort of pods or shoals. And so what I suggest, if you're coming up here, make sure you're prepared, you've got your rigs ready, so you can yeah, hopefully capitalise on that sort of bite period when they're in front of you. It's been really nice getting around 3 out of the 5 lakes that they've got up here on the Tar Farm complex. We've had to work really hard for it. It might not look it in the video, but yeah, we've had some battering winds, beautiful sunshine. We've had to go and find them. So yeah, it's been a really nice way of actively fishing. If you're coming up here, you can go and book on your swims already on the Go Catch website. Opening date is believed to be the 30th of May. And like I say, you can already book your swims. So yeah, go check out the website and make sure you don't miss out. One thing Chris, the fishery manager, did mention is that they've been feeding it with quite a lot of their own boilie. So yeah, you've got 2 ranges coming out, so it might be worth sort of thinking about adding some of that into your mix, and definitely, as always, add some pellet in there as well. But like I say, I hope you've enjoyed it as much as we have. It's been a cracking couple of days. Thanks to Ben for yeah, bringing me along on the way, and a massive thank you to the Linear Fishery team for letting us come down and have a go on the complex. And yeah, just make sure you like and subscribe to the video, hit the bell icon so you don't miss any future videos, and until next time, go out and enjoy your fishing.